proposed stamp was none other than the poison commemorative stamp. He missing drew his last breath just the other day. However, the motive for his murder was already 7 years old. 7 years old? The client who requested this forgery was very cautious. He tried to erase anything and anyone with connections to the forgery to keep them from talking. But he made a mistake. So I kept it. Father took it when I was very young. It was a great magic show. I loved it so much. The killer's time bomb was delayed. The poison stick was sealed within a glass frame, where it sat for 7 whole years. Little forehead. Do you understand what you're telling us? The one who schemed up the Ford's diary page was the one who poisoned the stump. And that it was Phoenix Wright who presented the Ford's evidence 7 years ago. Adding the two statements together, the one who schemed to kill Drew Missum was none other than Phoenix Wright.
Objection!
Sorry, but that's not how this is going to go down. Oh, and how will it go down? I checked through the records on that case when I found this. 7 years ago, just before the trial began. Oh boy. Here. What's this? I don't know. This guy over there in the hall. They told me to give it to the little boy in the blue suit with the spiky hair. And one more thing. I'm sorry to have sprung this on you so suddenly. I received the files from your previous attorney only yesterday. I understand I'm asking the impossible of you. Yes, well, you haven't really told me what happened yet. All we did was play cards. And that was enough. Phoenix Wright was put on the case the day before the trial started. He didn't have time to request a forgery. The day before? Now here's a question. Just who was Shady Enigma's previous defense attorney? Oh, this can't all be. But it is all true. There was another man, an defense attorney for Bads on his column. It was you, Christoph Gavin. Order, order, order! What is the meaning of this? Witness, defendant, former lawyer. Let me begin by denying this.
Objection!
It's easy enough to look up, Mr. Gavin. And impossible to prove if you can't. Attorneys are registered with the court the day before the trial begins. In other words, no record remains in the court. How exactly did you intend to prove Phoenix Wright's claim? That would be difficult. I'm afraid this line of inquiry won't yield.
Objection!
Your forehead. Are you sure you don't have evidence? What's wrong with Prosecutor Gavin? He looks clammy. Evidence! Evidence that shows this man who stopped Gavin requested that forgery 7 years ago. Oh yeah. Just prove it! Clear up these doubts now, I swear I'm off this case! You must have thought of some evidence, Apollo. Gavin must be feeling physical pain. That darkness. Pull that darkness out of him. Proof is the only way I can. Christoph Gavin's linked to you, Misham. Well, Mr. Justice. Christoph Gavin was a forgery you Misham 7 years ago. Prove it. Can be proven. Mr. Apollo Justice. I am. And then, I said we give him the benefit of the doubt. Very well. You're wrong about this. Prepared for a penalty.
Objection!
Your Honor, you need defense and injustice. Mr. Justice is clearly passionate about this crime. Should the penalty not match the passion? I haven't given a penalty like that in a long time. Well, Mr. Justice. Fine, Your Honor. All I have to do is prove. All I have to prove is any kind of link. Something that ties Christoph Gavin to the mission. And I have something that clearly does the job. Very well, Mr. Justice. Present your evidence. Show us a link between our witness and the mission.
Take that!
This evidence proves there's a link.
Objection!
That scrap of paper. I'm afraid I can't let you submit that. Is there some problem? There is. How could you possibly have that? You couldn't. Hmm? Hey! That's Daddy's handwriting. Mr. White's handwriting. What is the meaning of this? I see now. Yes, of course. What do you mean, of course? I just remembered I had a visitor yesterday. Phoenix Wright came to my cell. Except I wasn't there. Phoenix Wright? Though another time, I saw he had something of mine in his possession. Of course, I had no intention of letting him get away with reading my private mail. No. This letter was in your cell? No. It appears Mr. Wright has yet to be cured of his bad sporting habits. It's unfortunate. It's not a very good one. The handwriting's terrible. This is Mr. White's reproduction of what was written in the real letter. Reproduction? When Mr. White visited Christoph Gavin's cell, he brought with him a small video camera. What? He recorded his entire conversation with you, Mr. Gavin, and the contents of your personal mail. Regardless, this mockery of a piece of evidence will never be accepted by the court. Evidence based on a video a man with no authority whosoever claims he took. A man who happens to be an ex-attorney suspected of forgery. Prosecutor Gavin. Prosecutor Gavin? Embarrassing as this is for me to say. I'm afraid my brother isn't capable of making rational judgments at the moment. Your Honor, your decision, please. Defense's claim is denied. What? The actual evidence is permitted in a court of law. Please remove the defense's evidence from the record. Until next time, Justice. Taking a detail from our cross-examination. The defense appears to be lacking proof. For us to end the cross-examination of Christoph Gavin at this point. Apollo, do something! I'm thinking, but evidence. I don't have anything I can use on him. Very well. Listen to special witnesses' cross-examination.
Objection!
Show's over, but the crowd screams for more. Only now do I understand why. Prosecutor Gavin? Frankly, I'm relieved. This has been bothering me for 7 whole years. And I'm tired of the whole youthful angst scene. Now is our chance. Let's clear out the family closet there, Christoph. Yeah, you're spinning out of control. Calm yourself before you say something you regret. Spinning out of whose control? Mine or yours? Take a moment to consider everything you've built. Your reputation as a prosecutor, fame with the masses. You could lose all clever. Hello, you see that? He's trying to press Prosecutor Gavin. Prosecutor Gavin, try to remember what's really important to you. You amuse me here, beforehand. I couldn't forget what's really important to me even if I tried. In fact, I have it. Not even once. 7 years ago. Finally. You just couldn't resist, could you, Right? Resist what? Presenting solid evidence? What the request we put the current cross-examination on hold? The prosecution would like to call a new witness. State your name and occupation for the record. I'm familiar with the trial. I watched the video several times. Did you find anything unnatural about it? Unnatural? Well, you did seem unusually well prepared. I mean, Mr. White had only just presented his evidence. And the next moment, you called in Drew Misham. It was almost as if... What? Funny. It didn't even occur to me to wonder. But now that I do, I see there's only one possible explanation. Almost as if, from the very beginning, you knew Mr. White was going to present that evidence. Correct? I knew that if I applied the usual pressure, Phoenix Wright would eventually come up with that policy library page. To do this, Clavier, I knew because you told me, Christoph! What? It was the night before the trial. Clavier. Christoph. I see you at the prosecutor's office the day before the trial. Why not? Don't be facing off with you on your first trial, apparently. But in exchange, I brought information. Information? You tell me who will be there in my place tomorrow is not to be trusted. Even given the benefit of your respect. Listen, to call in a special witness. And I learned about it at the time. How did Christoph know so much? Prosecutor Gavin. Christoph, we were supposed to face each other in that trial. A fair fight, brother to brother. I deserved that much. You let me borrow the victim's belongings. You showed me all your research on the case. The victim's belongings? Which would have included Magnified's diary, wouldn't it? Mr. Gavin? My, Clavier. You disappoint me. You find trees, yet miss the forest. You're the one missing the forest, Mr. Gavin. You can't sweep this under the rug. Not anymore. Tell me what was going on behind that trial. Why not? I've achieved what I came here to do. I see no harm in a little reminiscing. Apollo, I think we're finally going to shine a light on the black belly of this thing, Trucy. We've done everything we could. I hope it's enough. 7 years ago, the day before the trial, I visited the detention center at the request of my client, Zach Glamorai. 2 cards. 1 card. Showdown time. Thanks, Gavin. Thanks for listening. Now, to be honest, I don't know what his reasons were to this day. As far as I could tell, he dismissed me as his representation because I lost in a game of poker. I didn't come to no other conclusion. Daddy used to say something. If you want to know a man, you have to compete. Zach wasn't watching his points or the cards. He was watching the man behind the cards, Christoph Gavin. I couldn't believe it. Phoenix Wright? A second-rate attorney who relies on luck and bluffs? He dismissed me. And with that pitiful excuse for a man? He deserved to die for that error alone. Hold it! So the one who requested that forgery was... Oh, I'm not admitting to anything. My point is, these two men shaved me, and I could not forgive that. Phoenix Wright and Zach Gramerai both deserve what they got. So he asked Mr. Mission to forge that evidence, so you could win. But then, when you were dismissed as Zach Gamarai's attorney, you used your forged evidence as a trap. You fed me information about the forgery you made. Then you gave your dirty evidence to him. You're free to imagine what you will. My point is that all I had imagined came to pass. Everything went perfectly. Incredible. If I wasn't laughing, I'd leap. Prosecutor Gavin? Perfectly. You're mad, Christoph? Stop fooling yourself. What are you talking about, Clavier? Tell me, how did that trial end? Cancelled when the defendant vanished. I get it. So, Christoph, you've been living in field for 7 years. What? You were afraid your forgery would be revealed and your reputation trashed. You couldn't leave things to chance. So you watched everyone involved with the case for 7 years. He always felt like he was being watched. That's what he said every day for 7 years. But I felt it too. Journalists saw he is being watched. End quote. But you wonder why Zach Gamerai got involved out after 7 years? The government took contact with me? Wait just a minute. Zach Gamerai was seen by this reporter? How is that possible? Is he alive after being gone 7 years? Finally, I knew this moment was coming. I just didn't think we'd get here so fast. Zach Gamerai, gone missing for 7 years. Sushi's father. What's wrong, Apollo? Go get him! Right. Leave it to me. Allow me to refresh the court's memory. 6 months ago, Christoph Gavin was charged with murdering a mysterious traveler. I remember quite well. Shawty Smith poisoning a Chinese restaurant. Tragic. Details don't really matter right now. What matters is, that traveler was Zach Gamerai. What is it, Apollo? Huh? Keep going. We'll talk about it later. Does he already know? Someone please explain this. Mr. Justice, can you explain this? It all started 7 years ago. The great magician Magnify Gamarai's death started it. Magnify Gamarai's death and his student, Zach Gamerai, the suspect. But the defendant Zach in court successfully would be famous beyond belief. Thinking that, Christoph Gavin did the unthinkable. He forged evidence. Do you miss him? Actually, it was his daughter, Vera, who really did the work. You took full precautions when you made that forgery. When you had that forgery made, didn't you, Mr. Gavin? Precautions? To keep people from talking, of course. These two know too much. There will be nothing but trouble. That you planned your poisoning of the forgers. Anti-crime. Applied to a commemorative stamp. But luck was on Mr. Missing's side. The bomb didn't go off. His daughter. So you saved him by taking the stamp. I see. But that wasn't the only bomb he set up. The elderly nail polish, of course. You noticed something when you requested that forgery. When real Missing was nervous, he had as a bad habit. A tendency to bite her nails. Nail polish was a good luck charm. She was almost kidnapped once. Since then, she's been, well, you can see for yourself. She refuses to leave the house. That person gave me a good luck charm when I absolutely had to go outside. It protects me. Yes. Apparently, she received something. A gift. She won't tell me what it was. It was from that client, the one who wanted that note made. It was his insurance. Insurance? As long as she lived quietly at home, there was no danger to her. What if she had to go outside? If she ran into any trouble, she'd become nervous. And the nail polish would do the rest. This time bomb sat there for 7 years. And then, they went off almost simultaneously. If you're finished, may I return to my cell now? I'm not accustomed to standing for such long periods of time. Mr. Gavin, have you heard a single thing we've said? Oh, I listened quite closely to your little tale. Quite an entertaining piece of fiction. What? Clavier, surely you understand. Back to the evidence. The lacking evidence. That includes a link between him and the anti-curriculum that took Drew Missum's life.
Objection!
What about the restaurant? You killed Zach Amaron. Keep him from talking. I could no man of that name. Read over the report again if you like. The victim was a traveler. And name was Sally Smith, about whom we know little else. You can't seriously think I knew he was that particular fugitive.
Objection!
Okay, then why did you kill him? I plead my right to remain silent. Remember, this was enough you mean to put me on trial. The defendant's name is Vera Mission, suspected the murder for her father. My trial has been finished for 6 months now. We have straight considerable from our purpose here. This court concurs with the witness. It is the defendant Bill Missing who is on trial. No! You do so well, Apollo! As long as there is no evidence to support the accusation against him, this course of inquiry cannot find Bill Missing innocent.
Objection!
Your Honor, Phoenix Wright spent 7 years collecting this evidence.
Objection!
You still don't get it, do you? Was poisoned in the nail polish. Then was responsible for causing Vera Missing to bite her nails. What? It wasn't me. I know that much. Then who brought that poison to her lips? simple as you. What? Evidence is everything. There is nothing more. I believe this discussion has reached its conclusion. Your Honor! Mr. Justice, you have performed admirably well for a novice attorney. I respect your partner in Phoenix Wright's determination as well. However, the fact that looked proof, you have nothing. Isn't that right, Clavier? Unfortunately, yes, Christoph, you're right. That is, you would have been right until now. What? Did the news not reach your desk in solitary? The eyes of the nation are on this courtroom today. This is the trial case for a new judicial system. That's right. I totally forgotten. The justice system. Justice, do you say? The current judicial system has been deemed too closed off from society. This new system attempts to interject the wisdom of common citizens into the law. Common citizens? Wisdom? Is this some kind of a joke? What could we possibly gain by doing this? Entrusting our judicial system to a mindless, emotional mob of irrational mouth breathers? Common citizens have something called common sense. Common sense is not restricted by the law. Nonsense. There's only room for two in this court. Me and the law. Keep the riffraff out. Out, I say! They're not in the court, actually. They're watching everything by video camera. How can you allow this? Incidentally, the one responsible for making this happen was Phoenix Wright. Phoenix Wright? So, everything was leading to this. Of course. Right. Right. Right? I don't accept. I can't accept. This is no court. Law is everything. Law is absolute. You let ignorant swine soil your courts? Christoph, it's over. Clavier! The law is absolute. You can't be serious. What? Odd. I thought you spent your life looking for loopholes. The law isn't absolute. It's filled with contradictions. The law is the end product of many years of history, the fruit of human knowledge. Like a gem polished to endure rain through trials and error. It is this fruit we receive and pass on and face in our time. And it is always changing, growing, nurturing. It is our task as human beings. Except for you, Christoph. You aren't changing. You stopped. You'll not need it anymore. I can't think of anything to say. Maybe because I still haven't seen enough. But someday, I know what law is. And I'll fight to change it if I have to. further prolong this trial. This began as a trial of your mission accused of murdering her father. The painter drew mission, however. Several other incidents were reviewed, and we seem to have reached a conclusion. Before this court declares a verdict, I await your decision. Jurist of the court. For the death of Drew Mitchell, how do you find the defendant, Vera Mitchell? Innocent or guilty? I turn to you now to consider this matter. This ends the trial for this case. Only the verdict remains to be decided. Defendant Vera Mitchell is currently in intensive care. If the decision cannot be reached today, it may never be reached. The factors involved are simple. Did the defendant poison her father that night? If so, she is guilty. Or was there another reason for Mr. Mitchell's death? Did another person poison him? If so, he's innocent. The panel has been provided for each of you to input your decisions. That is all. Please, wait. Yes? Jurist number 6? There's something in the jurist handbook here. Persons involved at the case may not be journalists. That is correct. I looked into all your doors. None of you were involved with the development of the case. With the development of the case? I see. Does that answer your concern? It's time for your verdict. Make a decision in the case against Vera Mitchell. After 7 years, the truth is ready to be heard. Judge wisely. Judge well. And so a verdict was reached on October 9th, 2:14 p.m. First verdict under the jury system. Innocent by unanimous decision. The record will show that when the verdict was announced, Special Witness Christoph Gavin laughed. He laughed louder than any ever heard before or since. That echoed in the halls of justice, lingering for what seemed like hours. October 10th, 8:30 a.m., the morning after the trial. In an intensive care ward, a true miracle occurred. Vera Mitchell opened her eyes. Vera, I'm so glad. I... Don't cry, Apollo. I'm happy too, and proud. You did well, Apollo. When I thought about what if Vera... Hey, now, don't you start crying too. Sorry you had to see us like this. Vera? Thank you so much, Apollo. Thank you. No, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have pressed you like that. If I have, then you never would have bitten your nails. No, I was wrong. Staying locked inside like that, clinging to my good luck charm. Vera. When I opened my eyes and saw you, I finally understood. It's important to be a part of the ward. See things with your own eyes. Looks like that poison had some effect after all. It killed off whatever was holding Vera back from life. I knew you'd pull through, Vera. I mean, that's what Apollo was fighting for the whole time. Your future. I won't forget it. Here, I mean, thank you. No, really, it's okay. Ooh, look, it's me. I love it. Thanks. Is that me? You really captured your essence, Apollo. Well, I think so, at least. That reminds me. You know where the other lawyer is? The other lawyer? Oh, you mean Daddy? Except he's not a lawyer anymore. It's my fault, isn't it? I'm sorry. Oh, no. That's not what I meant. No, it's okay. I'm too looking away from the things I've done. I hope I can look him in the eyes again someday and apologize. I'm sure he'd be happy to hear that. He bought all those things for me when he came to visit earlier. You mean that stack of videos? Mr. White finished watching them all? You know, I knew my real daddy was alive. Huh? I was there 7 years ago, remember? I was the one who helped him vanish from the courtroom. You did what? How? I'm not telling. He promised me that day he went away. We will not meet again for some time, Trucy. Know this. I will be watching, and one day I shall return. You're the next samurai, after all. Oh, Trucy. In the end, he couldn't keep that promise, could he? It's okay. He thinks he's my daddy now, even if he can't really play the piano. That he can't! Oh, and I've got you too, even if your voice is kind of loud sometimes. Glad I made your list. Hey, come to think of it, where is Daddy? The one who can't play. Do you know Apollo? I think he said he had to meet someone. I wonder, maybe it's a new mommy. Oh, Trucy. Yes, Mila? I was wondering, could you show him to me once more? So hat was it? Oh, he's not being knighted yet. Here goes. Yours an impersonation, Mr. Hat. Objection. Not enough. And I like Miss Magic Underwear better anyway. That's Magic Panties, Apollo. So, your memories returned? Mr. White, was this all part of your plan too? I don't know what you're talking about. When I lost my memory, I was reborn as the mirror. You knew my true identity, did you not? That is why you chose me as one of your jurists. You're thinking into it too much. Besides, there's no guarantee that regaining a memory would make you happy. is a happy thing. So long, I thought I was alone. But now I know I have 2 children. 2 dear children. I'm so proud of them. This too, I think, is thanks to you. Are you going to tell them? They do not know. Nope. They don't know their mother. Don't even know their siblings. I will go to them. The time is right. Until then, don't worry. I'll take care of them for you. They're very important to me too. A little annoying at times, but still. I have to keep an eye on her at least. Because I'm the only one who knows how she really feels on the inside. Your bracelet. Yes? I've seen a lot of serious things these past 7 years. But your bracelets were the strangest of all. I remember meeting him half a year ago now in Christoph Gavin's office. And then I met you. 2 fates destined to intertwine. And I was there when they crossed. I'll never forget that. Just a small thing. The bullet, yet it tore who I was away. 10 years ago, during a simple rehearsal. It was a miracle no one died, but I didn't survive that accident. That is where I left the trope, my family. Now, my memory has returned. I am myself once more. For the first time, I'm glad to be alive, Mr. White. Speaking of miracles, Leo and Missum will gain consciousness this morning. I can only hope she's as glad as you are. It is a strange thing. Fate. Sometimes a life is taken. Sometimes a life is spared. You know what I've been thinking? People don't die that easily. Really. As long as they've got something worth living for. And that's pretty much the end of my story. But no, anyway, I still got a long way to go. This pal of mine will need some work. But there's hope now. We lost it, but somehow we found it again. That's why people are smiling again. Hope. Yeah, I think I'll keep at this lawyer thing for a while. Oops, training time. Gotta go. Court of Steel. Here comes justice.
Objection!
I'm glad you're staying with the agency, Apollo. It's like I found my long-lost big little brother. Oh, and don't you worry about Truth Gamurai. Juicy's on the case. Now that I have this, thanks to Daddy. Juicy Gamurai. Frankly, I got my ducks, but Hatch Gamurai. Now they'll pack 'em in. Every day you get a try that rocks harder than one of your gigs, yeah? That's why it's over. The revenues are breaking up. The news cards are run on sissies at supermarkets nationwide. You'll be the real stars now. I look forward to our next jam session. Well, it's finally over. You know, thinking about it, I've been a piano player longer than I was a lawyer. Now that everything's sorted and I've got time on my hands, maybe I'll take some lessons. Or maybe I'll take the bar exam. Again. So, I was standing around eating snackoos the other day, and I got this crazy idea. What if they were golden? You could augment the coins, or better yet, make them ding. The power of science. The preservations may not be 100% safe. Unlikely event you'll want to rest and feast come the Bowling Club. Only thing colder than restaurant is booze. With good attendance being required. Then come to the hideout. You know who to ask for. So, Kentucky Pastries is getting back to its eastern roots, spread the culture north. Yo, boss! Culture time! This is how we white root the peace. But we're still about giving back to the people. Yo, boss! PR time! This is how we white the people, right? That Wookiee's paying attention. Kids. Bizarre! Chinese characters on cake was a fly idea like 3,000 years ago. Believe that? Man, you want to make it today, you gotta keep it real. You know what I'm saying? That's why I made the OG cracker for real. I know it don't look like no cracker, G. What do you want me to call it? The OG muffin? I don't know where all this talk about food is coming from. You ask me, there's only one food, and that's noodles. Noodles forever. I got a new one too, see? This time I just put a big chunk of salt in the bowl. I pretend that noodles like salt. Salt forever! It's Christmas later, when me uncle for a station in my department. You see, they used to call me Rusty Stickler, Rusty Sticky Hands. But no longer, I have a new name, one that reflects my true academic nature. Rusty Sicko, reporting, yes, curiosity is a sickness and I am the cure. All you've done, I just returned to my life with its joy. I have lost years, but I have gained a treasure. True treasures, in fact. I'll think of them when I write my next song. Back on the beat with another interview. How do I feel about how things turned out? No skip yet, but gentleman's confidence in its condition. And cries. Painting, words only, of course. I suppose I'll have to see a bit of the outside world to find what to paint. I know there are good people out there now. I met them. The door's open. The water's raining.